This is going to help you understand what to do to get your dogs more comfortable with the relaxation response work that you've already been doing. Chapter 1, Introduction to Energy Healing. Chapter 2, The Big Picture, diving into canine energy, simplifying the complex. I'm bending over backwards to simplify it for the everyday person so people don't feel like they need to get a master's degree in acupuncture to help their dog. Chapter 4, Unveiling 7 Chakras. I'm going to give you an emotional landscape of each of the 7 chakras. And again, I'm simplifying it. There's secondary chakras, tertiary, yada, yada, yada. But we just want to keep it simple. 7 primary chakras, and they're energy reservoirs. Chakra number 1 has a reservoir of specific energies, emotions. Chakra number 2, specific emotions. There's a whole book, books and books and books, on just the emotions that are held in each chakra. Practical ways to balance the dog chakras, practical ways to balance. We're going to learn how to identify, number 6, identifying signs of imbalance. And you all have identified it. The more specific, streamlined you can get your definitions, the more effective you're going to be in how you respond and heal that problem. Expanding on the chakras, we have meridians. Meridians are streams of energy. We're going to get into that. We're going to go into trigger point therapy, because all of these areas in our bodies, the energy centers, have emotional reservoirs. When that's blocked or reversed or twisted or knotted, we get a literal knot in our body called a trigger point quite often when it's massive. So for instance, right now, I tweaked my intercostal muscle, the muscle right in between my rib cage, by pulling the lawnmower string pretty aggressively. Now I have to compensate for that pain. And now I'm doing something else to a different muscle that's freaking it out. So now I've got a trigger point in between my shoulder blades, which is a knot that's blocking the energy. And it's extremely painful, even though it starts as an energetic thing. It's extremely painful. So now I have that trigger point knot in my shoulder blade and the injured intercostal muscle. Same thing with our dog. Something emotional happens or something physical happens. There's going to be a block occurring, whether or not it turns into a trigger point. It's going to be emotionally or physically painful, and we want to help them out because they don't understand what's going on. Lastly, there's myofascial release. That's like the saran wrap under our skin throughout our whole body. That's a crucial part of healing modalities, the myofascia. Relaxation techniques, chapter 11, we've got a few hands-on techniques that are specifically designed for reactive, fearful, crotchety dogs or hyper-happy dogs. Frequently asked questions, conclusion, and in the appendix, you could print this out and have it as your cheat sheet. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. And later on, it's going to be like your anchor. You don't have to do step 1, step 2, read, step 3. It's going to be natural. You're just going to do it. Alrighty. Like humans, dogs are powered with thousands of nadis. Now, nadis is what they're called. They're energy pathways, also called meridians. Nadis, meridians, they're interchangeable. So there's 12 primary meridians. And that's the same thing with us. We have 12 primary meridians. Even though there's 72,000 of them, We only focus on 12 to keep things simple. Then we've got the reservoirs, the emotional, energetic reservoirs called chakras. That's the third eye, the throat, the heart. So these energies are crucial for balancing your dog's emotional and physical states. The two go hand in hand. You cannot have a mind without the body. You cannot have the body pain without the mind. They take care of each other energetically, emotionally, mentally, physically. Like if you're always sore, say you've got lupus, you're always sore. It's an autoimmune condition. You're always sore. Everything's always painful. Now your mind's going to come in and help the body by making you depressed. Gee, thanks, right? So they take care of one another. We always ask ourselves, okay, is this really needed? Is this sadness really needed? Or is it something that's helping my body? If that's the case, okay, let me fake it till I make it, do something else so I can have my mind help my body in a different way. Same thing with your dogs. If your dog's reacting, the body showed you that it was afraid. All the fear chemicals go through the body. Now the body's telling the brain, get crotchety, get your armor on, get aggressive, get bully, become the bully, even though they're scared to their dickens. So we know what's going on because we've seen the body, the brain's responding to the body, and then it becomes a vicious cycle. They feed off of each other. We stop that vicious cycle and make the brain become an ally instead of a cohort to the misery. Simplifying the complex. Chakras and meridians. 12 primary meridians, 7 primary chakras. The starting point is typically the center of the spine. So if you look at the dog, let's start at the 5th chakra, the throat chakra. There's one in front and there's one in back because the center is at the spine. The cone looks like it shoots out this way and this way. Say like if you have a megaphone. In my throat chakra, I have the megaphone spewing energy just as the megaphone would spew sound coming out this way. That's the front of the cone. Now we take this cone to the back and it spews just as intensely from the back. So you've got spewing from energy from the front and the back, which means we can work from the front or the back. Now, it's going to be situational because obviously we don't want to do some deep tissue massage at the front of the throat chakra, right? Also, the back, the first chakra, energy center, we're going to pretty much want to work from the base of the tail, which is where it is, because the front of that chakra are the sexual organs, like the perineum specifically. Obviously not going there. And the same thing with the second chakra. That's why I didn't even list the other side of the front side of these two, because we always, pretty much for the most part, unless we do like Reiki, we just have our battery cable, our hand, and have it over that chakra, not touching that chakra. This is extremely powerful. Reiki type healing. You don't even need this hand, to be honest with you. You can just imagine it. Energy flow follows thought. Where thought goes, energy flows, literally. And the third chakra, 4th chakra, 5th chakra, I don't encourage a whole lot of head chakra because most reactive anxious dogs don't want you to go near their face or heads. You have to do this work once they're already relaxed. The head work, just to be put in the back of your head, the head work is work you do after you've already gotten them chilled out. That's to get them deeper chilled. Here's the seventh chakra at the top of the head. The ears, there's a primary meridian there that we want. These meridians that I listed are just some of the meridians that even if you forget what they do, forget what they are, these are meridians that if you just happen to be working with your dog, if you cover them all, you're going to be safe. So for instance, the paws, there's fabulous meridians at the paws, the tops and the bottoms. For instance, when I'm working with dogs, I have their paw resting in my palm while I'm touching them someplace else, probably right here or right here, because these two right here are stress relievers. The end of the
that one that you're on right now, that M. I had told you before how Shane reacted out in the woods when I touched him there, and you were like, well, play with it, see if it happens. Every time I go in circular motions right there, and it's almost like he passes out. He melts into the ground. It's just that one spot. He just like loves it.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. As a matter of fact, my little star is a little above. See that little green dot right there?
Yeah.
That's precisely where it is. But if you put your palm where you're doing, you learn firsthand, intuitionally, this is what I need to do. Now, do it even better by knowing both of your hands are like the battery cable. Sure, you can get very strong results from one hand. So imagine if you ground the hand by one of these other locations. Put in one hand here. Or, Julie, you could put your other hand, battery cable, at the base of the spine, or this the indentation at the rump area is the second chakra. Every single dog in the world that I've come in contact with loves energy work at this chakra. Loves. So this one
is that? Is that at the spine? Is that at the spine?
I'm
not sure where
it runs along the spine. It runs along the top of the spine, which is why I put these dots at the top of the spine. So here's the end of his tail. You go up just a little bit, and there's kind of like, if you're familiar with physiology, it's at the pretty much at the SI joint, sacroiliac joint.
Okay.
And if you miss it, you use your palm, and you're going to find your energy is going to find it, because it's not a laser focused energy thing. Distribution. So you use your palm and do your circles, you're gonna get it. So the circular pressure that I was explaining for the second chakra, it could be just the tickly, it could be the surface top of the skin, or it could be subcutaneous, where you're not rubbing the skin, you're moving the skin. There's a major liver meridian right here.
Okay.
And that liver is associated with anger, especially anger, many things, but especially anger. So if you rub right there, you're working with the liver meridian. So you guys are finding the spots. Now you're just refining what those spots are. You've already realized the power of them. So the more you understand what these spots are, the emotions that they hold, the quicker that you can get where you want, and the deeper that you will be able to go with the relaxation.
Are both hands moving, or one is stationary and just one is moving?
I almost always keep one hand stationary and the other moving. Now, here's another point. If you're working on the spine, I typically have one hand around this area for the grounding. It's the battery cable that grounds the whole energy system. And then I will put another hand on one of the other chakras, the circles, or just the hovering, or just the intention. A lot of these dogs don't want you to touch them. So your intention, energy goes where thought flows. Energy flows where thought goes. So if you are able to touch them, by now you guys are able to touch your dogs. Yes, you work with the chakras, put your hand on the base, and then whatever other chakra you're working with. More often than not, I will use the base chakra and the heart. Or the base chakra for very fearful animals, and the courage chakra. Quite often I'll scratch the belly, rub the belly, do something, get the base chakra and the courage so they can release their fear. So that's working with the chakras. You don't have to worry about what side you're working on because it's the base of the spine. Right? Even at the belly, it's the front of the chakra. So it's still originating at the center of the spine at that point and coning out. Just like it looks like a lotus flower. In fact, that's why the yogis use the lotus flowers, because that's what it represents. The chakra opening and flowing.
Oh, I never knew that.
To give the miraculous prize, we'll call it. What is inside is the miraculous prize, our innate nature, our best selves. Say again?
If the stomach is courage, what did you say the heart represents?
We're going to get to that right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, before I do, I left off with the concept that we don't have to worry about what side we're working because we're working the spine, right? It could be the top here and the bottom here. It's still the spine, right?
So,
question.
And one other quick thing. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Just throw them out there.
Whatever. Okay. I know you've talked about putting your hand at number 1 and on dogs. And when I do that with Shane, he doesn't seem to like it very much.
Don't do it then.
I rest my hand there and he just doesn't like it. Should I keep trying to do it and getting him used to it?
Never. We always have to respect what the dog, we want to do something that the dog loves. Okay. They don't like it, then it's just way too, it's just not the right thing to do. We can just leave it as that simple. If he doesn't like it, then we'll go to the second chakra. He doesn't like that, we'll go to the third chakra. And then as time progresses, we will get closer and closer to the place that he initially did not like. He's not grounded. He probably doesn't like it because it's just, stay away from me. That space is off zone. I'm a little fearful. I gotta protect everything. That's his most clogged up chakra. And it's the biggest change that's going to be made on him. So you got to work toward it rather than force. Force is never, never 100% under any condition, never used in energy work. Never. Dogs know more than we do. The minute we think we know more than the dog knows about their body, the minute we got it, that's the minute we have to stop. They tell us what they need. Like when Shane goes right here, that is telling you, yeah, keep it up. And what you could probably do is when you're here, he's at the maximum relaxation, is the point to kind of sneak in to the first chakra. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You want to clear it, but it's too clogged, right? Probably too clogged right now for you to go straight to it. It's just like going from a straight date to a marriage. Ain't gonna happen. He's like, no, you got to court me, right? All righty. So questions, comments, concerns about this right here.
That's very interesting.
7 chakras, primary chakras. And I didn't do 6. This is 6 right here where Breezy likes it. And this is 7 where Breezy probably likes it. This right here, you know, when you do this thing for a dog, it's one of the best things you could do.
Love that.
There's a Meridian triple warmer. That's one of the best things to do to calm that dog. Donna Gates calls this the mommy lick. You start right here and just go up, around, and then, in fact, I'll show you something more about that down maybe there later. Yeah, it's very, very, very cool. So follow your intuition first while you're learning about the chakras and the meridians. Okay? Okay, what are these energetic reservoirs responsible for? The first chakra, situated at the base of the spine, is responsible for primarily responsible for emotional stability, grounding. We have to have this base chakra balanced, i.e., have the dog feel grounded, good, before we can really do a lot of clearing in other areas. That's not to say we're not going to work in these other areas that we know the dog loves, but it's going to, the more you can clear this out eventually, Julie, the deeper they're going to go into their best self. The deeper they're going to be going into their immediate relaxation response, but long-term, their best self, i.e. less reactive. So this one right here, stability. It's the hierarchical thing where safety, you got to have the roof over the head, food and security. These three have to be taken care of before they feel ultimately, compassionate, loving. That's why I work so much with this energy work, because the more work we do down here, up toward here, the more compassionate and loving they're going to be with you as your canine companion. You're finding that the more work we're doing, the closer you're getting with them. And the more loving and cuddly they are with you. And, everything's just working in place bit by bit. And this is why it's doing that. So that's the first one. The second one is called the sacral chakra. And that is a sense of connection. And the same thing, these all pertain to us too, but we're talking about the dogs. The second chakra at the indentation, SI joint area, is the sense of connection, the social chakra. Linda, Breezy would be very good to have this one more fully clear, right? Because she's not and that's her genetic nature anyways. So you have a lot of work to do there. She's not real social. To help her to grow into more of who she is, even though there's only a certain distance we can go into that sociability for your baby, right? But it's right there, the social connection. She's got this fully open when she's with you, don't get me wrong. She's connected with you. And this is like, yeah. So it's like a good portion of it is floating. But to be more connected with the rest of the world, more of it would be open. Okay? Solar plexus number 3. Confidence. Every one of your dogs need this one balanced. Boosting the confidence, shy dog self-esteem. And you're thinking, well, wait a second. my dog's pretty darn confident he's trying to eat everybody up, right? So no, that's a perfect example. You can have it too empty, or you can have it too full, too little, too much in the same chakra. Will present itself in complete opposite ways. Too much energy here, they're going to be aggressive. Too little energy here, they're going to be shy and fearful. Based on their habits, based on their genetics, will determine more precisely how they present this emotion. So when we're doing the work, we just start with our intention. If you know the dog has too much, i.e. aggressive, but you're not certain because he's got a lot of fear in there too, then just start with a neutral intent to balance this emotion. Okay? Balance this emotion. Because Shane has a lot of fear, anxiety, mixed with not enough confidence. So we could keep the intention simple. Create balance with our emotional whatever. What actually you guys throw out a phrase that you could use for your energy centers for your dog. Julie, what would you do if you have the intention, okay, I'm going to work with the root chakra, the second chakra, and the third chakra? What would your initial intention, your verbal intention be?
Verbal, not what I'm thinking, but verbal.
Internal.
Oh, internal, yeah.
Internally talking.
I more like picture when I do this with him. I'm more like picturing what I want, what my intention to be.
There you go.
Yeah. So I just picture, like, I would picture him, say if I'm at home, or out in the yard, and some of my friends or Carrie just walking up to us, and Shane is all happy and goes up to the person and is completely relaxed. That's what I picture.
Excellent.
Someday.
Excellent, 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 excellent. Energy follows thought. So you keep that's you and I are picture thinkers. So we're more connected with the dog's way of thinking because that's precisely how they think. They think in pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So share that picture with them. That's exactly what you do. Linda?
It's pretty the same that, a new person comes and she's relaxed and ready to greet them instead of being, afraid of them.
Excellent. Excellent. You got it. You got it. So the heart chakra, when it's balanced, and the other lower three chakras are coming close to balance, the dog feels more loving, empathetic, compassionate, cuddly.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Say again.
Breezy doesn't react at all to being rubbed on her chest there.
Okay. Okay. You wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
So the point to notice also is that the base of the spine, the first chakra, is where all the energy reservoirs live. It's just at the base of the spine. Everything lives there and then flows up, goes from there to up the spine. So you can imagine if this first chakra is clogged up, you can imagine how little is going to make it to the second, third, fourth, and so on. So you can see, Julie, how important it is to eventually get that first chakra clear.
Mm.
Because without a sense of safety, security, he's not going to fully feel his heart chakra opening until that is open. Because you guys are becoming more and more adept at this, your dog is going to have the gift of a lifetime. Dogs and people go through their lives without having this open.
But we have to keep working at it. It's not gonna just happen. I have to keep working at it.
If we have a body, if our dogs have a body, we have to work at it. Because if we have a body, we've got some clogs happening. Even if you weren't talking about the energetic aspect of it, we're an electrical circuit. Going with your engineering background, Linda, we're in an electric circuit. And like every electric circuit, say for instance, Linda, you have a monitor. The monitor got too close to a magnet. Gonna happen. Now it's screwed up the frequencies through the monitor, right? You can't even see what's on the monitor because the electromagnetic frequencies are screwed up. They're jumbled. But you can heal that by getting a degausser. Your hand is like the degausser. Julie, what's a degausser? It's a simple tool, electrician's tool. It's coiled circle, a circle made of coils. Simple. You get this tool, and our hand is going to be our degausser, and provides circle motions around the monitor, and blam. Now the monitor has clear energy. Now you can read what's on the monitor because the electromagnetic frequencies are organized properly. Same thing's happening with our bodies. The slightest thing can knock out our electrical circuit. If we're shocked, we get into a really nasty argument, or if we're shocked, or if we're injured, one of our primary chakras, secondary chakras, one of the 72,000 nadis, meridians, are going to get clogged. Something's going to happen. And now we have to unclog it. How are we going to unclog it? Easiest, simplest way, without all of this, any of this, is meditation with our dogs. Meditation with ourselves, meditation with our dogs. The second most potent way is to do what's in this document right here. Okay, questions, comments, concerns? You've got the throat chakra. Your dog's barky, barky, barky. Real nasty barky, barky, barky. Never stops barky, barky, barky. Throat chakra. How does Breezy respond to your hand massaging the back of his neck, her neck?
I don't know that I ever really do that.
Okay, I would try it.
Likes it more on her head than there, I think.
I would explore because her throat chakra needs a little balancing. Now, that's not to say barking is not in her genetic makeup, because it is. So there's that. Yeah. It's epigenetics. But the energetic aspect of it, if the energetic aspect of it is clogged or too much, too little, and the genetic makeup, oh my gosh, you got a nasty barking mess, right?
I mean, she likes under her chin, but that's not the same as the throat and the back.
It is, because
she loves that.
This is
all
the
day long.
Chakra in front. This is the fifth chakra in back. It's the same one. The lotus.
Oh, she loves this.
There you go.
Loves that.
There you go. You found it. You're helping her to balance this fifth chakra out. Good. Excellent.
She's like a cat that way. I mean, cats always like that.
Excellent.
Do you do that while Breezy's barking, you do it then, or do you do it when she's calm and you're just doing meditation stuff with her?
So I mean, I do it like when we're just sitting next to each other. That's how I, pet her. I'm like stroking where she likes it on her neck and her ears. When she's sitting next to me watching TV, or like when she's right next to me on the bed here while I'm working, I'll take little breaks and I go belly, and she'll go on her belly, and we'll have a little session, and she loves it.
That's such a good point. We work with the lower chakras when we're working with active flow. Active flow is, they're active, they're outside, they're freaking out, the emergency pressure points or the grounding points and this point, whatever. But we typically work with the primary chakras or the emergency pressure squeeze when they're hyperactive, overreactive, hysterical, whatever. We don't do the fine-tuning stuff when they're active. And Linda, you followed your intuition. She's chilled out, she's hanging out with you, she's feeling good, she's not, bouncy, barky. You know you couldn't get her to enjoy this if she was bouncy, barky, right? She's like,
Right.
she'd bite your hand, right? Come close to it, or at least punch it. If they're active, we typically work with the lower 3 chakras. What I often do is a dog comes here and they're pretty feisty. I'll do the squeezy thing. And then after the squeezy emergency pressure point, then I will do the grounding area with the heart. And that's kind of like clearing the spine, getting the energy flowing through all the chakras so they can feel more of a balanced self.
Yeah, you do that after they've calmed down, right?
Yeah, we need to work with the emergency pressure point first and foremost. Then we might be going to the lower chakras, one hand on the lower chakras and one hand somewhere wherever, but at least one hand on one of the lower chakras.
When you first, I know Shane's only been with you a couple of times, but have you had to do the emergency pressure points first with him at all, or is he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Outside, when he first came here, oh yeah. He's like, I'm scared. This place, I gotta go home. Oh, I don't know where my home is, because he didn't realize his home was home yet, right? He had zero sense of security, zero sense of safety. So I did a lot of that.
Okay.
And this back here with this one and this one, especially back here into the rib cage, the last baby rib, and right here at the top of the arm joint, the leg joint. These two right here are his. Well, this one. That one's, I use that one so much. It's like probably a basketball size opening, which is good.
Oh.
Around
Well,
here.
that's probably why he likes it so much. He got it used to it with you.
Became an anchor.
Yeah.
And the word easy at the same time.
Yeah.
Easy, buddy. Yeah.
And breezy. I mean,
Breezy,
I've never used
all of hers, the vast majority of hers, that when she was here, I did just mentally.
Yeah.
Vast majority. Later on, I could do a lot of stuff, but for the first half of the time she was here, it was just like Reiki. It's in emotional freedom techniques, they call that surrogate energy clearing. If you don't touch the dog, you don't move your hands.
I just wonder, so why did you do mental with Breezy and not physical? Just because she wasn't ready to accept
Remember,
touching?
she's the only dog that got through to bite me. Meaning, everything about me represented her insecurities. Because she was at a new place, mommy was gone, nothing here was familiar. She didn't know if she was going to survive because mommy might have abandoned her, yada, yada, yada. So once we got to the workspace, the energy mat, it was all mental. And to show you how powerful that can be, I didn't, that's why I don't stress hands are doing anyways in phase 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, is because her massive breakthrough was just mental energy healing, surrogate energy healing. Her massive. And that took 2 sessions to get a massive energy breakthrough.
She did have a big breakthrough. Thank you.
What happened when she had the breakthrough? What were you able to do, or what did you see?
The first thing she did was she always had a choice. You can go into your crate or you can come back come back to be with me. The first thing she did was come back to be with me, to snuggle near me.
Hmm.
And then the next thing, I would be able to participate. I would be able to do some hands-on work. And then she would be kind of like more of the Velcro dog. The Velcro dog, the Velcro dog always wants to stay with you. And then you could, it's just so lovely to see the dogs and just release all their crap in that instance and have such a beautiful breakthrough. I just love to see that. And they lay down, then they roll over to their side, then they stretch, and then they're snoring. That's the ultimate end game where you know the energy, I should say, the energy has done the most work is when they plop on their side, stretch out, do the deep, long, deep breath, and close their eyes, and their energy centers, certain parts on their body are clearing or opening or emptying, doing whatever they're doing, and they have these little twitches. I'm not talking about running in their dreams. The little twitches, muscular twitches, limb twitches, nose twitch. That's when the energy has found its home. That's when the energy has found the innate happy self, the best
When
self.
we see our dogs doing that, I mean, even in my past dogs, when I see them doing that, my inclination is to go over and wake them up because I feel like it's not dreaming. Yeah, not when they're dreaming, but what you're talking about, when you see their body, doing these twitchy things. So I shouldn't disturb them when that's going on.
Go
No.
inside and ask yourself, is he releasing or is he freaking out? Now, when my dogs are dreaming, they're doing it, woo, 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 woo. You can see they're running. I will softly sing to them their key, the anchor. I have a song for them that I sing, and then they do this deep, and go back into a soft, deep sleep.
Right.
So you want to know the difference because you want their brain to be so disconnected from their body that the body is taking care of itself innately. The energy in the body is just flicking out that disruptive stuff.
But you're talking about if they're dreaming, but if they're just doing that twitchy thing, then you don't do what you just said. You just leave them alone.
Never interfere when a dog is
okay.
Their brain is asleep. The brain is so inactive that the body is in charge, creating natural order.
Oh.
Now, if we were to interrupt, their brain would come back into charge, and then the natural order would stop. The quantum energy is just takes care of itself. If the brain is so still, deep meditation, especially, that's the primary way that it would happen. But secondary way is a deep sleep. The brain is so still and letting go that it's like, okay, now we don't need this, and this is taking care of itself. The natural order is finding its home.
Okay, I just have one other quick question. When I'm going to do my meditation time with Shane, once in a while, it's convenient for the time comes up at convenient time, and he's sound asleep. So should I not do it when he's already, sleeping?
Yes, do the work still, because your energy is entraining onto his body, his brain dead body for the moment, and helping his body and emotional brain without thinking take care of itself, find the natural order. That's one of the best times to do it is right before the deep sleep, right before the sleep. But if they're in a deep sleep, that's the second best time to do the energy healing. Because he's not thinking to disrupt the energy healing process.
I could never do that to Breezy. If I touch her while she's asleep, she freaks out.
That's why the intention only is if they're sleeping, you don't want to touch them.
Yeah,
For sure. That's where you do the intention and just let it go, let it be.